Well, in a just insane world, we would have started 15 minutes ago, and this pay-per-view would have ended about
15
an hour
minutes
ago. Yeah, no, probably. Really?
Well, the main event didn't start till 30 minutes beforehand.
Yeah, it didn't need to go as long as it did. I'm telling you right now, I understand why it's done, but we need to get rid of these video packages hyping up before the match. And it's just killing more time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't mind the video packages, like when we're building, but the night of, no. That's why stuff like this goes forever, and it's bad enough on the long weekend we've got where we're doing Ring of Honor, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, and SummerSlam. We're going to have to deal with a SummerSlam card that's 4 hours, which hopefully won't have an overrun. Tonight, on a pay-per-view that nobody really cared about whatsoever, they give us a 15-minute overrun in a match that no one cared about and a build-up that nobody cared about. But for some reason, they cared about it enough to not only give us 15 extra minutes, but also, of course, predictably, thank you, Twitter, bring back the Great Khali for one night only. Or maybe not. Maybe this is a permanent thing now. Maybe he's going to be hanging out with Jinder from now on.
Oh no,
I don't care. So let's do this proper. Welcome to another WWE pay-per-view podcast, exclusively here on the podcast network. We're going to talk a little Smackdown brand this time around. It's Battleground, which is a better name than Great Balls of Fire, because I don't need to say reasons. Number one, that's your Steve. And number two, because, yes, it's a much better name because it sounds like an actual pay-per-view name. Wits in chat said that was stupid. Yeah, I agree. 100%. Who knew the Great Khali was a Vulcan? So, my name is Owen. Joining me as always is Ashley.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about a couple really good matches and the rest of Battleground.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it, too.
Yeah. Why was the main event the first match?
Yeah.
Because it sort of went from there downhill to some extent.
Yeah. I mean, there were a couple bright spots after. I mean, you had your opening match, which, I mean, we're gonna get completely ahead of ourselves, but
yeah, the opening match where they buried Ty Dillinger.
So weird. I think with that tells me that this feud is continuing. Which, to be totally honest, Ashley, given the fact that I'm a fan of both of these competitors, I have no problem with. But once again, we bring this up on Raw and on Wednesday, and we're going to bring it up here again.
Does it involve the number 50?
No, it involves the fact that NXT talents are completely wasted on the main roster when they come up most of the time.
Hang on. Well, let's think about it. One won a title.
Okay, hold on. Let me qualify this. Most of the mid-card talent brought up from the NXT roster is wasted.
Or they just get brought straight in and are wasted. Isn't that right, Mike?
Yeah, we'll get to that. Don't worry.
To me, it's just 50-50 booking, which, we'll get to you later, Mike.
You get... Okay, you see what happened with Ty Dillinger in NXT. You wanted a piece of the action. You brought him up to the main roster. I'm happy. I'm very happy for Ty Dillinger. I've been a huge fan of his. Obviously, he's a no-show guy, so that's the connection there with me. I will state right now that I was really happy when I saw him brought up to the main roster. But when I saw him put on SmackDown, my first immediate thought was, uh-oh, he's going to get lost in the shuffle. And it didn't take long for that to happen. I mean, he's still over. Don't get me wrong. And the 10 chant is still over. But, I mean, it's not as prevalent as it was. And with Aiden English, I'm really glad because I've been a fan of his since NXT. I was a Vaudevillains fan, and obviously when Simon Gotch left the company, Aiden basically was going to be a singles again, which I like him better as a singles because he actually can work quite well. I love his gimmick. I understand there are numerous people that do this gimmick in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Joe Hendry comes to mind, obviously, immediately.
He's starting to become a laughing stock, though, in WCPW.
Yeah, we'll get to that on Wednesday.
He's supposed to be a strong heel, and he's winning in fluky manners as if he's sort of like a lucky face.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Which is exactly the same that Gabriel Kidd's getting, except he's supposed to be a good guy.
I really like Aiden English, and I have no problem with them actually doing something with him. Now, my issue is if this is going to be a short program and then they do absolutely nothing with both men again, which probably will happen, sadly. But I will say that I was actually pleased with this match to kick off the show.
Are we talking the actual tag match?
I mean, I'm talking about the singles match to start off.
Okay, we're talking about the pre-show one. Yeah, it was for a pre-show match. It was pretty good.
Really good. Great back and forth here. So it was really interesting because Aiden went for a flying body press. Ty rolled through, got a near fall off of it. Sets up the tiebreaker. It gets countered, and Aiden hits basically just a straight falling DDT. Not a falling inverted DDT. It was basically a falling inverted DDT, but not inverted, if that makes any sense. Got a near fall off of it. Mm-hmm. He set up to go for the tiebreaker himself. And, of course, Ty escapes out of it. They fought with pinning combinations back and forth. And Aiden ends up hitting, I'll call it like I see it. He hit the Heat Wave, which is Darren Young's old finisher, which is a full Nelson into a face buster, and gets the win. Called the director's cut by, Tom Phillips tonight, man, seriously. Director's cut is basically it's a Cobra clutch into a side effect. And that is not the only time tonight that Tom Phillips has misnamed a move. Then again, I could be under the impression that this could be like a Dean Ambrose situation. Like this is the second version of the director's cut, which is a possibility as well. Or then again, he probably just miscalled the move. That's more likely. This feud continues, and they gave it almost 10 minutes, and I have no issues with this.
Yeah.
Good way to kick off the show.
For an opener, it was pretty good.
I liked it. Then we get to the actual pay-per-view itself. Main event of the evening starts the show off. Smackdown tag belts on the line. The New Day trying to wrest the tag team titles away from the Usos. This is really good. Really good. I will say right now that I'm pretty sure that with the gear, number one, Xavier Woods was having Consequences Creed flashbacks again for the second time in a couple of months. And on top of that, it felt like they were having issues with their gear, because I noticed when you were trying to do a move to either Kofi or Xavier, and when they were trying to do moves themselves, it looked awkward. Like their gear didn't like fit properly. I know that doesn't make any sense, I'm sure, but it made sense to me. These two went at it, hot and heavy. Really solid opener. Crowd was into it 100%. They set up the demolition decapitation, and Kofi hit the double stomp off the top for a near fall in there. I thought that was really cool. So we finally get a hot tag to Kofi. He runs wild. Hits the leaping clothesline, hits the boom drop, and hits a PK to Jay on the ring apron. Tosses Jimmy to the outside. He does the trust fall. And of course, he gets caught and power bombed on the floor. So they beat up Xavier Woods for a bit, and Xavier gets a flash roll up into a face buster, which is basically like a forward roll face buster, which was really cool. Got a near fall off of that. Sets up the honor roll. Jimmy cuts it off, and pop up Samoan drop for a near fall. Xavier fought back again, and he got the best of the Usos momentarily, hit the rope walk elbow, and instead of connecting, he got caught with a super kick right in the jaw. And tremendous shout out to the cameraman here, because this camera shot was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was like you didn't see it going.
Yeah, Jimmy goes for Tequila Sunrise. Xavier doesn't tap out. He locks in a half crab instead. Xavier's about to grab the ropes. He gets pulled to the middle. And Kofi tags blind. And, of course, they hit a double stomp again this time around, which is called the Midnight Hour, which, once again, that's not the Midnight Hour. Midnight Hour is the big ending face buster, even when Big E's not in the match. So, yeah, sorry, not again. So, Kofi springboard eats a super kick. Jay hits a Samoan splash, near fall off of that. Crowd's going wild. Usos go up top at the same time. Xavier shoves Jay off. Jimmy goes for the splash anyway. Kofi's out of the way. Trouble in Paradise, and Xavier hits the rope walk elbow, and that's it. The New Day have become, once again, your SmackDown Tag Team Champions. 14 minutes of really entertainment, a lot of really great entertainment here. I mean, we've said a lot about the Usos and the New Day both being really stale and stagnant, but they always can turn it on in the ring. Every single time. No matter how boring the promos are, no matter how much they're like headache-inducing most of the time. The fact that the Usos have completed the turn from the Young Bucks to the Guerrillas of Destiny, it still works. And it works greatly. And this match proved why these two are two of the top tag teams in WWE, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So because there's no promos on this show, we roll on to the next match.
Trying to think where we went from here.
Well, we're going into probably one of the weaker matches of the night.
Oh God, yeah, the one where it was like, okay, let's do some build. Not.
So it's Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Baron Corbin. First off, Nakamura comes out first. Sorry, I don't care if there's no title on the line. The face does not come out first. That annoys me. If Corbin was going to attack him from behind again, I would understand that. But in this case, no, not at all. I mean, lots don't work in this match. I mean, heat on Nakamura for a while. Corbin with a bear hug, of all things. That is just slowed the match down. He goes for the choke slam. Nakamura fights out. Hits the wheel kick. And then he puts Corbin in the corner. Hits the running knee twice. Gets a near fall off of it. Corbin counters. Slides under the bottom rope like the big boss man. Huge lariat. Gets a near fall off of it. I thought that worked really well. Nakamura countered a suplex with a knee strike, and then the grounded knee strikes. Sets up for the Kinshasa, but Corbin counters deep 6, 1-2, and a kick out. So they're working away. Nakamura hits a modified lung blower. And Corbin's down at one point. Nakamura sets up Kinshasa one more time. Nakamura goes to set up the inverted exploder and gets kicked in the nuts. Match over. Nakamura wins 12 and a half minutes, and that's the finish we get. Which tells me, sadly, this feud is continuing.
Because reasons. Yum.
You should get that copyrighted, seriously, because that's your line.
I won't bother, because, you know, Vince will just say it's his.
Like a lot of our stuff.
Yeah.
So, for some reason, after the match, Corbin grabs the briefcase, and he bombs out, but then he comes back, and then he destroys Nakamura with the briefcase. Hits the end of days, leaves him laying.
Well, you know, you've got to make the champ look strong.
Got to get him. You got to get your heat back before your eventual Money in the Bank cash in, which apparently is not going to be for a little bit longer now.
Soon.
No, soon's a bad word in this world.
Soon.
Well, then we go into our 5-way number 1 contendership to the women's championship. So I don't know if you follow, if you're listening, but Smart Money came in on the betting for this match. So much so that they actually, I believe Dave said something about them pulling the actual match itself from being able to bet on it. Started off with a really strong influence that Charlotte was going to win. And then at the very last minute, I mean like the last minute, like earlier today, they actually flipped 100% for Natalya winning. So then they're like, yep, sorry, we're going to cut this. You're not going to get to, nope, no more. So I'm sure some people made some money tonight. Charlotte, Lana, Becky Lynch, Tamina, and Natalya. Yeah, this match was there. I mean, I hate to say that, but this match was kind of there.
The problem was that the problem is that the match was pretty good.
Yeah.
The problem was the finish.
The finish was bad.
No, well, it's not even the finish. It's the finishes.
So
because rather than periodically stagger them, like have a couple of, you know, quick eliminations and then have it be down to the final 3 for a while or the final 2 for a while. All 4 falls, I think, came within about 4 minutes of each other.
This match was quite literally a Divas Survivor Series match as a 5-way.
Yeah.
That's easily the best way to put it. To anyone that didn't watch the match, that's the best way I can describe it. Take a Divas Survivor Series match and make it just a 5-way dance, and that's it. That's how fast the eliminations were. We get this weird tandem of Tamina working with Lana. That was interesting, I guess. So Becky runs wild. Beck splitters for everyone. It's like Oprah Winfrey up in here. And Tamina finally shuts that down with a super kick and then hits one with Natalya. Charlotte comes in, goes for the figure eight. Natalya counters out of it, hits the natty by nature, goes for the sharpshooter. Lana breaks it up, tries to get a pinfall on Charlotte, but he kicks out there. Becky goes for the disarmer on Lana. Tamina breaks that up. Samoan drop. Spears Charlotte to the outside. Lana tries to steal the pin, and Becky with the disarmer, and Tamina again saves. But Becky catches Tamina, and that taps Tamina out, and then taps out Lana 20 seconds later. Quite literally. 10 seconds later, Becky gets rolled up with the tights in a way that you're not... It's funny because when you roll up a woman with the tights, you run the risk of potentially showing something. It was the safest hook of the tights I've ever seen in a wrestling match in my life. So Natty and Charlotte are the final two, to the shock of no one. At least for me. I didn't see a reason why not. Really good stuff here, Charlotte. Really awesome strength shown with a sit-out powerbomb. Goes up for the moonsault. Natty gets the knees up. And Natty ends up doing a schoolgirl into the bottom buckle and beats Charlotte clean. 10.5 minutes. Naomi's on commentary during the match. She gets in the ring. For some reason, she's doing commentary in her gear. That makes sense. And she goes to try to shake her hand, and Natty's like, nope. So that's the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get to the match I actually really wanted to see tonight. United States title on the line. AJ Styles defending against Kevin Owens. Yeah. To the shock of no one, this match was awesome.
Let down by a finish.
Finish was interesting. We'll get to that. So AJ hits the backdrop suplex into a face buster. Adam Flash on line one. So I say this every time. Got a near fall. He sets up Owens again. Super click by Owens, but it's blocked. Spun around, and Owens with a hot shot gets a near fall off of that. But AJ counters the Ushigarashi for a near fall. Springboard 450. Owens gets the knees up, gets a near fall off of that. Cannonball in the corner for a near fall. And Owens puts AJ up on the top, follows him up top, and AJ goes for a sunset bomb. And it's turned around into the F-it, which is a torture rack and reverse neck breaker. So AJ goes up top. Owens crotches him up there. They fight up top again. And AJ goes for the springboard. Owens out of the way because he slides to the floor. Trips AJ up on the ring apron. Divorce court because AJ has been favoring the shoulder the whole match. AJ hits the Pele out of nowhere, sets up the Styles Clash, but of course his shoulder gave out, so he can't get Owens up for it. I like this spot right here. He picks up the ref and literally he picks up AJ and tosses him right into the referee. I thought that was really unique. It's like, it's like I'm playing Royal Rumble on Super NES and I want to bump the ref. So yeah, that's what it felt like. Super kick, pop-up powerbomb, countered, calf crusher, refs down. I thought what would happen here is even with the referee down, Owens would start tapping to add to the momentum of the match. But no, actually, it was nothing. Owens with a crossface, more pressure on the shoulder. AJ gets a crossface of his own. Owens fights out of it and rolls back with the legs both grapevined. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens, once again, your United States champion. Gave it almost 18 minutes. Really solid encounter. A very interesting finish. Came absolutely out of nowhere. I like this because they were fighting with the crossface, and Owens ended up getting the advantage, and momentum carried him over, and He got the pin clean.
Mm-hmm.
Great match. Apparently, the Bollywood boys are not going to be allowed to be at ringside. So they tell Jinder that.
Part of me with that ending, though, it's like, I mean, I don't know if it felt right.
I mean, okay. And I said this to you, and I think this is probably the truth. You do a finish like this, like the match at MSG when AJ won the title. You do that to pop a live crowd. That's the reason why they would have title changes on house shows all the time back in the 90s, because of the fact that it would give you the impression that if you go to a house show, there is a possibility you might see history. Not likely, most likely, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking, this happened before. It might happen again. We need to go. We need to buy tickets to the show. And Madison Square Garden's always been a special show anyway. So I can understand why they did this. It didn't kill any momentum or anything, and Owens got the title back right away. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with this. I don't know where this is headed. I don't know who Owens' next opponent's going to be. I mean, is it going to be involving the match that's up next? Please, 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 please. Or is it going to be, I mean, it could be the guy the poor rock star that got kicked in the nuts by Hairline Corbin. So
Anything. Hairline Corbin that you speak of?
I don't know. I think he's a backyarder.
Should you go back to Ring of Honor?
All Japan.
I get it.
So flag match time, but it's not a flag match. Oh no, this is a truly different stipulation. There are two pedestals, an American podium and a Bulgarian podium, and they're at the top of the ramp. They have posts. And the gimmick is you have to not only get the climb up to the top of the rope, grab the flag from the pole, like you normally would do in a flag match, but then you have to run all the way to the top of the ramp in an ambulance match style fashion and cross the line by literally putting the flag in the podium, in the stand. Rusev versus John Cena. His match is fine. It's just, it was too long.
Mm-hmm.
Not much to it, really. I mean, they fought over their flags for a while. They both got their flags rather quickly. And they ended up fighting in the entranceway, fighting on the ramp. At one point, Rusev hit the fallaway slam on the grating up at the top. He sets up two tables. I always call this setting up your own demise. And I was thinking, come on, it's Philly. If you're going to do double tables, stack them on top of each other and do them properly. Nope, they stack them to the side. Cena gets put on top of the podium. And, of course, to the surprise of no one, Rusev picks him up. He does the "you can't see me" to Cena, which made me laugh. And he goes to pick up Cena in the fireman's carry to AA Cena off the podium through both tables. That doesn't happen. And he fights off the accolade twice. The second time, he picks up using his superhuman Super Cena strength. Say that 5 times fast. And literally carry Rusev to the top of the podium itself on his shoulders, fireman style, quite literally. And he AAs him off the top of the podium in the most anticlimactic finish that you can see coming from a mile away in the history of ever. John Cena turns into Neil Armstrong, plants the U.S. flag, and wins the match.
One giant leap for C-Nation.
Yes. And then we get to the segment that I was very, very much looking forward to.
Truth is not H.
Truth is not H. So the Fashion Police are in their office. We still have the Mulder and Scully look for the birthday boy. Happy birthday, Fandango, yesterday. And
also, did you notice the
So many references.
Well, no, the best one was the actual X-Files reference. You know, the poster with the flying saucer on.
Right.
I want to bow leave.
To believe. I mean, there was a reference. There was references to, like, I believe I saw Hornswoggle on there. Tony Chimmel was on there. That was a funny
Golden
one.
Truth.
Golden Truth. Yeah, our
There was
Truth was on
Golden
there.
Truth one. There was an R Truth as well as a Golden Truth. That's the confusing one.
I love these so much. These are so inside. And when you see a segment like the Fashion Police every single week on SmackDown, you wonder who's writing it, because it's certainly not the people writing the actual show. So we're about to find out who's been bugging them for months, who trashed the office. It's the Ascension, or is it the Ascension? And then they're talking about finales being letdowns, i.e., the last episode of Seinfeld. Fandango's like, you weren't at the show last week because you had 2 tickets to Paradise. And it's like, yeah, you were at the Eddie Money concert. Lights go out. Tyler Breeze is laid out. And next thing you know, Fandango gets attacked.
Fandango gets laid out as well.
He's literally dragged REC style out of the frame. It's the Wyatts. It's Harper and Rowan. It has to be with that set up.
You know, then they had what the truth is still out there. And then with the to be continued, literally Fandango, one of them, Fandango or Breeze, when the graphic comes up, they literally just go, dun.
Yeah, oh my God, I know. I mean, there was a lot of speculation on who was going to be behind this. And like Harper and Rowan, obviously, are the one that really was getting a lot of steam recently. And it makes the most sense, especially with the fact this was done in darkness. But I will say that a really weird idea that I came up with is this is Summer Rae, and I can't think of whom off the top of my head would be the other 2. I don't know the women that are on SmackDown anymore, to be totally honest.
Well, we know who it really is.
It's
Yo ho diddly dee, she is a pirate.
It's that damn Sasquatch. That's who it is.
But the thing is, you know, we've ripped off Miami Vice.
Yep.
We've
And
ripped
now
off X-Files.
X-Files. Now you're talking about Twin Peaks.
I just want it to be Twin Peaks. There's loads of people like pitching other ideas elsewhere on the web, but think about it. Fandango is the missing girl. Tyler Breeze can be Carl McLachlan.
I'd flip that.
Well, it wouldn't make sense because if he's got dragged off, Fandango's the one that's missing, isn't he?
That's true.
Also, it might be some sort of reference to the movie / series because Mulder disappeared.
Right.
From what I vaguely remember.
You are correct.
So they may still be going on with the X-Files, but I just think the way it's going, abuse the shit out of it.
Oh God, yes. Give us more of this, please. And I mean, like I was saying, like I know this would be bizarre, but like let's say Summer Rae's behind it, and it's all basically because she's a jilted ex-lover wanting to get revenge. And she is the one who has paid off somebody to come in and take out Fandango personally. And because Tyler Breeze is kind of an accessory here, he's the one that gets laid out as well.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think.
They totally could do it that way, but they're not going to because...
I'm trying to think who's on the roster.
Summer Rae's sister Abigail. My dream has come true.
I'm trying to think who's on the roster that could be the equivalent of Log Lady.
Oh my god. We'll be
I'm
here
just
all night if we don't stop this.
no, but I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of the mid card talent that it could be.
That's a good segue. Let's go into the mid card talent. So Sami Zayn versus Mike Bennett. So didn't take long for Maria to start wearing hot pants to the ring. So
also, Twin Peaks sort of fits the Wyatts anyway.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's see the story of a wife overshadowing her husband again.
Yeah, so a lot of canoodling time in this match. Sami would get more irritated every single time. So Sami hits the flying body press for a near fall, and he hits the palm chop into the double jump tornado DDT for a near fall. Maria comes in to stop the exploder into the buckle. Sami argues with her and is like, no, I'm going to do this again. And this isn't happening like last time. So he hits the exploder into the buckle, haluva kick, and Mike Bennett loses clean in like 7.5 minutes.
Huh?
Yeah. I mean, Sami Zayn should be in the world title picture right now. I've said this numerous times, but I don't know where we're going with this because when you do 50-50 booking, storylines dictate that when a babyface finally wins, the feud is over. And there is no reason for this to continue now. Bennett got a win in a quick TV match. And then the next week on the paper, like a couple days later on the pay-per-view, he loses clean as a sheet. No reason for this to go any further. And no idea where either man's going. Yeah. So I was really struggling because obviously it's Sunday, so I'm back on the work schedule again. I was really struggling to make it through the show, and the main event, I saw the cage, and I was like, nope.
To be honest, I wish I was you.
Oh, God.
Because this match, Punjabi prisons are known to be slow, plodding, boring things. And you know what? I didn't let the side down. The crowd were chanting, like, trust the process, ECW, JBL, delete, anything and everything. Mainly because, they decided to do the genius thing of not improving the structure. So you couldn't see a bloody thing.
Yeah.
It was always obscured by either bamboo at the bottom or the bars at the top. There was no clear view. Which, is a little annoying. Ever so slightly.
Main event time, I guess. Punjabi prison, Jinder Mahal defending against Randy Orton. This is all you, sir.
I mean, the doors went up, the doors went down. The Singhs were actually underneath the ring, despite saying that they'd be there. So, of course, they interfered. So, of course, you had the usual spots of the usual stuff. One got put through the table on the outside, through the English announce table. And then we got to the end, and it's we had kendo sticks involved, steel chairs, everything, and it looks as if Orton's going to get the win. And then Jinder's music starts playing again, and I'm going, oh, no.
Uh-huh.
Please do not tell me to aid this. And basically to get it over, because India wasn't paying attention, have they brought back the guy that's going to get the views?
By God, it's got to be the Indian Kane.
And lo and behold,
it's bad blood all over again.
Here comes Dalip Singh.
Yep.
And jeez.
Here's the best part. So he climbs the cage. He grabs Randy Orton by the throat. And like I said, I'm pretty sure he has Vulcan powers. Because he grabbed him by the throat, and that's all he did. He just stood there, holding Randy Orton by the throat. Well, for some reason, Jinder Mahal just laughed at him, climbed over the top of the structure, and won the match. This sucked.
Yeah.
This super sucked. And here's the thing. Number one, this Jinder Mahal experiment is a flop and a failure. 100%. But Vince does not like to admit defeat. So, even though you have a heel with Money in the Bank, and this was a golden opportunity to get the title off a heel and get it on the Baron Corbin, they didn't go with it. Is Khali going to be the corner man for Jinder Mahal moving forward? Or is this a one-night-only situation? We're going to have to wait till Tuesday to find out. I really don't care either way. I don't have a problem with Jinder as a worker. I think he's average. I think his promos definitely need help. I don't care about the Bollywood boys. They don't really add to anything at all.
No.
I mean, what I did see of this match, it seemed really like sadly like a normal, what the internet would consider a Randy Orton match, a typical boring plotting affair with not much to it whatsoever. These two have no chemistry at all. They need to get them away from each other because this isn't working. And I wonder now if Jinder's going to be defending against Cena. And then you have Cena win at SummerSlam and then have Corbin cash in on Cena, which could happen. But if you want to get that briefcase to work, you're going to have to get the title off of Jinder, and you're going to have to do it soon. Like, they could have trolled us all and had Orton win and have Orton and Cena at SummerSlam.
Pretty much.
I would have preferred that, to be honest, because at least they have chemistry.
Pretty much.
I mean, Jinder needs to work with guys that he can actually work with. I mean, Randy Orton is definitely not the right one here. This was the wrong finish for this match. I understand why they did it. If they're going to continue this experiment, Khali had to get involved here. Had to. And the internet, of course, ruins everything, as always, because people were taking pictures and photos of him being seen at the venue. There were posts about him.
Brilliant. They did a terrible job of hiding it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, obviously, WWE wasn't like, who's here? What former WWE champion is at the venue tonight? No, they didn't do that. But it was all over the internet today. So, yeah. And when I got off work and I started seeing that Khali was supposedly in the building, I was like, oh, God, they're going to do this, aren't they? They're going to turn this literally into bad blood. Like when they did the Hell in a Cell match with Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, and then here comes Kane and rips the door off. And it's not the same thing, but the gist is there. So, yeah. Just like the Kennel from Hell, I don't want to ever see the Punjabi prison again.
Yeah, please.
No more.
Burn, I know it's made of steel, but burn the bloody Punjabi prison to a cinder.
Why can't Randy Orton do that for Heat? Literally and figuratively. Have it set up somewhere and have him just like burn the thing to the ground.
I'm trying to work out whether by heat you actually mean Sunday night heat, because
Oh
I don't want
God.
to see it on a fucking pay-per-view. If it's on a show that nobody watches, that'd be really good.
Well, I thought that was going to be the show tonight, but apparently not.
Oh.
That, I mean, yeah, I like I said, I don't care. I don't care. I mean, obviously, they're like, oh, and you're upset about WWE right now. I was like, well, yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to give things a chance, but you guys are not helping. You're really not.
It's just, I don't know.
You gave me a show which the only match I really cared about was Owens and AJ, which delivered.
And the match that was the best match of the show was the opener.
Yeah, and the match that I didn't really have much interest in, I'll give you credit, you won me over because I'm tired of calling Usos and New Day, but they always really bring their A game whenever they are actually working with each other. Nakamura and Corbin I didn't care about because Nakamura has been kind of treated somewhat like an afterthought since being brought up to the main roster. I didn't care about the women's elimination match. I mean, it's not anything against anybody in the match. It's just I don't care right now. And Rusev and Cena always have great chemistry in the ring. It's just I don't like the stipulation. It was dumb to do this as a stipulation match.
Yeah.
Anything you do with Fandango and Tyler Breeze, I'm going to be down with. And having this lead to the Wyatt family and maybe seeing like Fandango get kidnapped potentially and being held by Harper and Rowan and do like really creepy promos that start on SmackDown this week. I think that's what we're leading towards. And I really wish like Summer Rae would be involved in this because I'm totally imagining it in my head that all of a sudden like you see like the sheet mask and everything and like there's no words that are being said and basically Harper's standing there, looks like he's about ready to kill Fandango, and then all of a sudden you see a shadow, and the next thing you know, Summer Rae comes on the screen. It's like, be careful what you wish for. Because everyone knows hell hath no fury like a woman scorned for Sega. Sami Zayn and Mike Bennett, I mean, seriously, I don't know where we're going with this or where anything goes from here, and I did not care about the main event. So, I mean, there was a couple things that I definitely would recommend on the show, but again, as always, as much as I hate to say it, these branded pay-per-views are just not fun. And why did it run over? I said this at the beginning of the show. Why did it run over?
Because we needed an orange Punjabi prism.
No, we needed more from the guy in the ringside that had the sign that said "Be excellent to each other."
Probably.
Definitely. Oh yeah, and also, Sid, go ahead.
No, I was going to make a joke and then I realized wrong people.
And definitely, it was cool to see Grim and Dollcat at. I can't say they were at ringside, but they weren't like on hard cam all night. But I did see them, especially after what happened at that Jersey independent show over the weekend.
Oh, apparently a load of stuff's happened over the weekend on the indies that might not even make it into Dave's news. Let's just say On Point Wrestling had people using the word that rhymes with maggot that starts with a letter F.
Oh no.
You've had the Grimm's Toy Show stuff. We've had abuse at family-friendly WCPW shows. It's all going swimmingly. Swimmingly. It's a real word. Look it up, children.
Yeah, and apparently for some reason Byron Saxton is now an insider.
Everybody's an insider.
Oh my god.
I heard once from a source that Russell Crowe and Al Pacino were both insiders.
Yeah, I think that's a good bet, to be totally honest.
And for that, they got massive heat from a man called Michael. I don't know why. You can tell how boring this is. We're making movie puns. Ugh.
So AJ and Owens are basically. I have a feeling that now I think about it, what may end up happening is that result may get challenged on SmackDown. There was no replay of that finish. And
you actually think, like I thought, they're going to have some sort of other angle that's actually going to reveal that Owens was tapping or something.
They both had their shoulders down. It was a double pin. But the referee was out of position and only saw Owens' shoulders, saw AJ's shoulders down. So if we get another referee saying that Owens' shoulders were down at the same time, we'll have a no contest and we'll have to do a rematch.
At the slams of the summer.
It's fine.
Or, considering, we're in Canada next week for both Raw and SmackDown.
Yep.
Do it in Montreal.
Yep.
Just to piss off. It's going to be the Montreal Screwjob all over again. Except, it's some bloke called Kevin instead.
I have a problem with that. So yeah, that's the show. We're back at it tomorrow night for Monday Night Raw as soon as Raw finishes. And then we're back here Wednesday night for the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast, talk all things G1 and everything from the world of professional wrestling. Crazy stuff going on.
Yes, the most terrible thing in the history of wrestling.
Yes, rest in peace.
No, I'm not talking about Jim Cornette ranting about Kenny Omega wrestling blow-up dolls.
Yeah. We'll talk about that, don't worry.
Probably.
Ashley, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at Ash is my name UK. There will be a Gaming with Ash covering the Nintendo news because it's jeez. I was going to talk about the Switch stuff, but now I've looked into the details of the Pokemon Go festival that happened this week. Yeah. And I lolled so far away. Yeah, LOL references.
You know it. So, if you're going to make Flock of Seagull references, anyone that's listening right now, if you want to check out a really awesome song that's really underrated, it's called Space Age Love Song. And it's actually I believe it's actually in Baby Driver, to be honest. It's either Baby Driver or Spider-Man Homecoming or something I've seen recently. I think it's Spider-Man Homecoming more I think about it. But yeah, that song is amazing. And it is something that I'm sure a lot of you out there, including myself, and that's all I'm going to say.
Hang on. What was it again?
It's called Space Age Love Song.
Quickly searching on the Googles.
Phenomenal song. Love it very much. So yeah, if you're going to bring up Flock of Seagulls, I'm not going to let you not mention that song. So yeah, follow me on Twitter at Sir O Disney. Follow the network on Twitter at Popcast Network. Check out our Facebook fan page at Popcast Network. And check out the other content here on the network. Obviously, we are leaning towards soon, hopefully, for another Halloween Horror Nights announcement coming in the near future. August 3rd looms on the horizon, which is supposed to be our full reveal. I guess we'll find out what's going on with that. And then and only then, you might see the Elite return to the network to deliver another podcast. You're going to have to wait and find out on more information on that. So this week, of course, a lot of wrestling content back here on Thursday for more Sip and Snack. I'm actually going to be staying with Darren over the weekend at Cabana Bay, so we'll be out and about. Be returning to Dave & Buster's. A lot of cool stuff coming in the horizon, so that's going to be my time. And of course, that's after I work all week. So that's your show, everyone. Once again, if you haven't yet, go out to your local Hot Topic and try to see if you can get your Bullet Club merchandise. It's supposed to go back on store shelves as of Wednesday. Everything get back in stock. And of course, later on in August, there is going to be a brand new exclusive The Elite shirt that's going to be available in Hot Topic. I don't believe it's even going to be available in Pro Wrestling Tees. It's going to be available in Hot Topic. Shirts of Adam Page, the Hangman, of course, and the Girls of Destiny is going to be coming to Hot Topic soon to join Cody, Marty, the Bucks, Omega, and the Bullet Club itself. And coming in August, LIJ and New Japan specific shirts are going to be coming too. Sadly, I don't think we're going to get a Daryl, but I will look into it and try to find one of my own. So that's the show tonight. And as always, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased that once more tonight you have chosen a podcast. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Remember to everyone, stay excellent to each other. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
Damn you, Fallen!